Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to make my classic pot roast. I'm going to start by using some grapeseed oil in a very heavy bottom pan. This is my cast iron pan, so enameled cast iron. So we're going to get that all over the bottom of the pan, a nice about a tablespoon. And then you're going to season your chuck roast. Any seasoning that you like. I'm just using my own blend of all-purpose. But what's important is you want to make sure you season all sides of your chuck roast. The top, the bottom, and the sides. And this just rub it in. A nice seasoning or seasoning base is really important for this first part. We're going to sear it in a little bit, but we want to make sure all these seasonings get seared in. And you can feel free to go heavy-handed with the seasoning at this point because you want it, like I said, get a nice sear on it. All right, and then I'm also going to rub it in, massage it in. You really want the seasoning in there. Just press it in there really well. And we're going to get ready to sear our meat. All right, and then you're just going to sear all sides of the meat. If I didn't say so before, this meat was almost at room temperature, so I took it out of the refrigerator a little bit before I actually decided to start seasoning and searing. And you want to make sure that your pan is on a fairly high heat so that you can get the sides seared and the tops and the bottom seared. And you can see I'm just, like I said, searing all sides. So I'm standing it up on each end. And then I'm going to deglaze with a little bit of red wine. Literally any red wine is fine. It's probably about a cup of red wine. And the first part of my recipe, we're going to bake it in a bag. So I've got my large bag. This is like a turkey bag. So I put it in the bag. And then we're going to get our vegetables all prepped. Of course, it's your choice which vegetables that you'd like to use. I did the vegetables you see here, which is celery, carrots, bell pepper, and onions, and potatoes. But definitely your choice as to which vegetables you'd like to use. All right, on to the bell pepper. And if you cut it like this, you're actually able to use the majority of the entire bell pepper, with the exception of the stem. So you cut really close to the stem part at the top, cut the bottom, then cut really close to the stem part. And then all you have to do is go in with your knife and cut out the middle, the heart. Of course, throw all that away, but now you're left with the entire bottom, all the sides, and that top part that most people usually throw away. But if you cut it really close to the top, the stem comes right out, and you can use most of the pepper. All right, so I'm just getting rid of the seeds. And we're about to cut up our pepper. It's going to be like really large cuts to most of these vegetables. If you cut them too small, then they're going to basically just cook away as you cook your roast. So you want to be sort of chunky or clunky, if you will, with the vegetables. Pretty much everything you'll see me chopping today is going to be a really rough, large chop. Okay, bell peppers are done. Onto the onion. And I know you see me peeling away this first layer of onion skin, and a lot of people are like, "Why are you throwing away so much onion?" Look, I don't like struggling with the onion skin, and is it going to peel? Is it not going to peel? So usually when I cut an onion, that whole entire first layer is going to come off. All right, now it's for a rough chop. Like I said, on the onion, you want to keep everything pretty much as big as possible. So I just halved it again. Cut it in thirds, and then half one more time for my large pieces of onion. You see, they're really big pieces, which is perfect. On to carrots. You can get regular carrots and then peel them and cut them into large pieces. I usually cheat with these organic baby carrots that are already peeled. So, hey, to each his own. And then the potato. I won't sit here and make you watch me peel the potato, but we're going to peel, I think I did about 3 large white russet potatoes. And again, it's just going to be a really large chop. Now, you have an option to put your potatoes in the bag now with the rest of your vegetables, or you can put them in after when we're going to take it out, which you'll see. I chose to put them in ahead of time, but as you can see, they're really, really big pieces. So if you put them in the bag, you want to make sure that you're using really big pieces and not making the pieces too small, because as you know, as potatoes cook, they will disintegrate, if you will. So you want to make sure that they're really large pieces if you're going to put them in the bag ahead of time or first instead of putting them in after your bag cooking process. So just very large cuts of potato, as you can see. All right, so now time to assemble. Everything's going to go into our bag. No particular order in the vegetables. I think I did add the potatoes sort of kind of first just so they can get off to the sides. I probably needed a larger baking dish, but this is a regular 13 by 9 baking dish, I believe. And just getting all my potatoes and all the rest of the vegetables in there. Literally no order, just trying to get the potatoes off to the sides. And then the rest of the vegetables, honestly, I just piled them in. So now you see why I'm using the turkey bag instead of the regular size baking bag, just to give myself more room to get all these veggies in here. And because I'm working with a fairly large chuck roast, it's probably about a 4-pound chuck roast. All right, all the veggies in. Now I'm going to add some Lipton beefy onion soup mix. So I just have the soup mix and any kind of broth you have. I just happen to have vegetable broth. So I used about a cup of vegetable broth, a cup and a half, looks like a vegetable broth, and a pack of Lipton onion soup mix. Actually looks like about almost 2 cups, so somewhere in there. It didn't have to be an exact science. Didn't get all my seasonings out, so I used a little more broth. But just 1 pack of Lipton onion soup mix, and then about, like I said, we'll just call it 2 cups of broth, any kind of broth, beef, chicken, or vegetable. Then I'm going in again with my all-purpose seasoning, my savory note seasoning. More to come on that. All right, and then we're just going to seal it all up. What I probably should have also added, which I didn't, was some minced garlic. I'm really shocked that I didn't. I just totally forgot. So if you have some minced garlic at this point, this will be before you seal the bag, go ahead and put about a tablespoon of minced garlic in there as well and get it all stirred up. Get your bag all tied off and tucked. And I will say I'm about to put it in the oven. It's just a 375-degree oven for probably about the next 4 hours. But make sure that, since this bag is so big, make sure that your oven grate, like the top one, is like really far up so that when the bag expands, it doesn't break, because the bag will expand in the oven. All right, so this is about 3.5 hours later. I'm going to cut it open because we're now going to transfer all of it into our Dutch oven that we had earlier, that we seared the meat in. We're going to put all of this, just going to slide it right into our Dutch oven. Just giving a little look there. You see it still has some nice juices at the bottom, but it's thin. Everything is literally cooked to perfection. The beef is nice and moist and soft, or tender, shall I say. And we've got plenty of this broth that we're going to make a gravy with in a moment. So that came out really, really nice. All right, so now we just slid it, like I said, into our cast iron Dutch oven. And this is just a slurry of cornstarch. So as you can see, I'm not really trying to add volume with a whole lot. So it may be a quarter cup of broth and